Hey guys, I'm Chris Buck and a very warm welcome to Friday Fretworks. This week we're going to be talking all about this. Other way around. Volume, or lack of it, or excess of it. This has all come about off the back of last week's video, which if you haven't seen it, I'll stick a link up there. It's me playing Bernie Marsden's 59 Les Paul. A couple of people were kind enough to comment on that. It's had a fair amount of views. A couple of people were kind enough to post it in various message boards and various forums. And the one kind of resounding discussion which came off the back of that video is why the hell I use my volume knob quite so much. And there are a couple of answers to that question, I guess. Two slightly boring. Third one, hopefully more relevant to this video, which for the purposes of a bit of clickbait, we're going to call the one effect that you absolutely need and absolutely already have. And as you may have already guessed from watching the intro video of me kind of riding that volume knob, it is your volume knob. It's the one thing that's stuck to your guitar, and we're all guilty every now and then of forgetting about it. But to answer some of the questions in regard to last week's video as to why I was using it quite so much, boring answer number one, it's just the angle of the video, I think. 99% of the videos I shoot for Friday Fretworks are looking down the guitar, looking down from the headstock. This, just for the purposes of kind of showing off the guitar a little bit more, was shot from the bottom, so I guess my right hand is a little bit more of the focus, a little bit more of the star of the show, and looking back, I'm adjusting it a fair amount. Second boring answer is that was literally the first time I plugged that guitar in, so I was very much feeling my way in that respect. It's a very powerful guitar, very distinct, very kind of clear sounding, chesty voice of a guitar, but very loud nonetheless. So I was kind of feeling my way in regard to where it was feeding back. I was plugged into an amp that was pretty loud in the room, so I was just feeling where it wanted to feed back, where it was sustaining, maybe a little bit more than I wanted to at that point. And as I said, just feeling my way with it and getting used to it as I went. So in that respect, I was kind of riding the volume knob. Interestingly, at no point in the video, whether I was on the neck pickup or the bridge, the middle I appreciate was cut out of the video, but that was because Bernie came in and interrupted me. At no point in that video were either volume knobs, maybe above 6, 7, 8, absolutely tops, just to kind of give you a sense of how powerful and loud that guitar is. It's a gorgeous sounding instrument. Third, slightly more, hopefully relevant to this video, why the hell would you not use your volume knob? It's there, it's a massive part of your guitar, and it is literally the first effect that we have access to, I guess. We're all guilty of it. We all kind of fall down that rabbit hole of, you know, what amp can I get, what cables can I get, are my strings the right strings, what pedals, what picks, whatever, all of the kind of various fads of the week where we're looking at for the kind of thing that can really affect your tone. Pickups being one of them, I'm as guilty as anyone. Have you seen my pedal board? But I'm not kind of, you know, espousing to be not guilty of this myself. We're all guilty of it. But your volume knob is literally the first effect that you have access to. And I'm going to call it an effect in the sense that it affects your sound. So we're going to get away with calling it an effect. But we forget it's there. I'm not too guilty of it, I guess, in recent months. If that last video was anything to attest by, I'm very conscious of kind of really working it. But we all forget from time to time that it's there, and it's not a set and forget thing. It's not something that you kind of set and then don't touch it again for the duration of the song or the set or whatever. Why would you not kind of ride it and really kind of swell in and out of notes and just generally kind of play with it as you're going along? There's a reason it's accessible. There's a reason it's very close to your right hand, which is your picking hand. just use it, you know, experiment with it. There's not a vast amount I can say in this video, apart from really get used to kind of incorporating that in your playing a little bit more. It'll make it more dynamic, it'll make it more interesting, and it'll make it infinitely more musical, and guarantee it. If nothing else, it'll give your playing a little bit of a breather while your right hand goes down and actually starts to kind of fiddle around with it. So you'll start inherently kind of bringing space in your playing a little bit more. But on a literal level of just the volume alone, it's just an interesting way of making your playing slightly more dynamic, you know. It's there, we all forget about it from time to time, but it is literally the first point you have for actually affecting your tone. So this video, as you saw the intro, is just me kind of riding the volume knob a little bit and kind of hopefully giving you some idea, I guess, as to kind of some of the sounds that you can get just through kind of working a volume knob. Interestingly, on a Strat, there's a reason I would never introduce a treble bleed circuit into the volume knob, is that I love the inherent kind of darkness that you get when you back a volume knob off. Unless I'm playing a solo, I'm very rarely on 10. You know, kind of really working that volume knob and getting some kind of high-end roll-off that you get. I love that kind of, you know, inherent darkness that you get when you roll it back a little bit. So unless I'm playing a solo, as I said, I'm very rarely on 10. Les Pauls are a whole kind of different kettle of fish, and any guitar, to be honest, is going to be slightly different in how it reacts when you roll off. Some will have a more even taper, some will be pretty kind of severe, I guess. It's all about learning your guitar and kind of knowing at which point it kind of maybe cuts off to the point where it's unusable, and maybe if there's some sweet spots. I never go by numbers, to be honest. The volume knob, prior to taking it off to wave it at the camera, the volume knob was on at a funny angle, so flat out was actually on level 3, just to give you some idea of how kind of skew if that is. So it's a feel thing entirely for me. I'm never looking down and thinking, oh, for this bit I need to be on 7. It doesn't work like that. It's just a case of backing it off and hearing what your amp is doing behind you. But for the purposes of this video, I kept a pretty simple kind of signal chain. It's obviously my Strat with my signature Radio Shop pickups, running into this pedal right here, which is the VS Audio Straight Flush from Greece, set as such, volume at about 2, gain at about midday, and then the tone backed off a little bit. It's a pretty great sounding overdrive, to be honest, and it's pretty dynamic in itself, which helps with this whole kind of exercise. But as the first chord in the next session will demonstrate, it's pretty dirty. And then everything after that is not touching the pedal, not touching the amp, the simulated amp. It is literally using the volume knob on the Strat to back it off, get some kind of cool clean tones, or get some kind of, you know, a bit more saturated kind of classic rock rhythm or lead sounds. So, as ever, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And as ever, I shall see you next week for another episode of Friday Fretworks. Cheers, guys. Take care.